I walked into my husband doing something to my 26-year-old son. My name is Amanda Eberechukwu. I am 39 years old, and I am currently pregnant for the man I thought was the answer to my prayers. My husband, Donatus Eberechukwu. Even writing those words feels unreal. This is the most heartbreaking thing I have ever experienced, and I don't even know where to begin. My hands still shake when I remember what my eyes saw. At night, I sleep, but my mind does not rest. The images return like nightmares I never invited. Before I met Donatus, I was a single mother. I became a mother at 14. It was not something I was proud of, but my son, Chidi became my entire world. He was my first fruit, my reason for surviving. When my parents found out I was pregnant, they threw me out like I was nothing. They called me shameful. They said I had destroyed their name. But life did not stop. I carried my baby on my back and still tried to finish secondary school. I sold things by the roadside. I begged strangers to help me watch him. I was only a child myself, but I had a child depending on me. Some kind people helped me along the way, and somehow I survived. I graduated from university at 24, and through all those years I never dated, not because I didn't feel lonely, but because I feared bringing the wrong man into my son's life. Chidi was too precious to risk. As he grew older, I focused only on him. People warned me that teenage boys rebel, and I didn't want confusion in my home. But looking back now, there were things I didn't pay attention to. Chidi was never really close to girls. Instead, he was always at church, choir practice, conferences, men he called father figures. I thought it was spirituality. I thought it was safety. By the time I turned 30, loneliness began to creep into my chest like a quiet sickness. So I started dating secretly, and at 35, I met Donatus. It was during a church conference I attended with my son. Donatus was in his early 40s, calm, mature, kind. He told me love had not been kind to him either. He said he wanted a woman who knew how to love, someone ready to build a family. I told him everything, even the truth about becoming a mother at 14. And when I introduced him to Chidi, something happened. Donatus smiled warmly, asked him questions, treated him like a son. And Chidi didn't resist. Normally, Chidi hated any man I brought around, but Donatus, he attached himself to him quickly. I remember thinking, finally, God has answered me. We dated for 6 months, then he proposed. I got married at 35 and people said I was lucky. I believed them. 6 months into marriage, Donatus told me to stop working. He promised to take care of everything. He spoiled me. He spoiled Chidi. My son was almost 26 then, fresh out of school. He even said he wanted to stay and learn business from Donatus. And I felt complete. Then 4 months later, I found out I was pregnant. Joy flooded my life again. Everything felt perfect until the day everything shattered. I was traveling for a friend's wedding. Donatus and Chidi drove me to the bus park. Then I realized I forgot my phone on my bed. My husband and I slept in separate rooms, so I rushed back home alone. When I got upstairs, the doors were wide open. My heart stopped. Why would they leave the house open? I heard movement, voices, strange sounds. At first, I thought it was a robbery. I tiptoed quietly, praying nothing had happened to my husband or my son. The sounds were coming from Donatus' room. My heart pounded harder with every step. Then I pushed the door open, and what I saw broke something inside me that may never heal. Donatus, my husband, and my son. They froze. They stared at me. No apology, no shame, just silence. I screamed. I don't even remember how I made it out of that house. I grabbed my phone, ran, and forced myself to go to the wedding event because staying one more second in that mansion would have driven me mad. Now I am sitting here, surrounded by celebration, while my world is collapsing. I don't know what to do. Do I go back and ask when it started? How long they've been hiding this? Do I live a marriage that gives me comfort but has destroyed my soul? I stopped my business. I stopped saving. If I walk away, where do I even begin? And what do I do about this pregnancy? My heart is heavy. I feel ashamed. I feel betrayed. And I feel alone. Please, tell me what you think I should do, because I don't know how to carry this pain by myself anymore. Even though I was surrounded by laughter, music, and the celebration of my friend's wedding, I felt like a ghost sitting among the living. People were dancing, people were smiling, and I was sitting there with my hands on my stomach, 3 months pregnant, feeling like the child inside me could somehow sense that the world it was entering was already broken. I kept replaying the moment in my head, the open door, the strange sounds, the room, the silence, the way they stared at me. No panic, no apology, just cold stillness. That was what haunted me the most. Not only what I saw, but the fact that they didn't even look surprised that I was there, almost as if they had forgotten I existed. I left the wedding early. I told my friend I wasn't feeling well, which was not even a lie. I truly wasn't. My body felt weak. My heart felt like it was dragging itself across broken glass. On the ride back, I kept thinking, Amanda, you have to face this. But another voice inside me whispered, what if you hear something you can never unhear? When I finally got home, it was already past midnight. The mansion that once felt like comfort now felt like a prison. The gate opened slowly. The security man greeted me politely. He didn't know. Nobody knew. And that made it worse. I climbed the stairs quietly. Every step felt heavy, like my legs were carrying shame instead of bones. The house was silent, too silent. I reached my room and locked the door behind me, my hands trembling. I didn't want to see anyone, but I knew I couldn't keep running. The next morning, I heard movement downstairs. Voices, normal voices, as if nothing had happened, as if my life hadn't shattered the day before. I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my reflection in the mirror. Amanda Eberichuku, the girl who survived being thrown out at 14, the woman who struggled, sold things on the roadside, begged strangers for help, the mother who built her entire life around her son. And now I was living inside a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I placed my palm on my stomach. My baby, I whispered. I'm so sorry. Then I stood up. I walked out of my room, down the stairs, straight into the sitting room. And there they were, Donatus, my husband, sitting comfortably, sipping tea like a man without sin, and Chidi, my son, my first fruit, the boy I raised with blood and tears. They both looked up at me. The air changed instantly. The silence returned. I didn't sit down. I didn't greet. I just stood there, my voice shaking. We need to talk. Donatus leaned back slowly, like he had been expecting this. Chidi couldn't even look at me. His eyes stayed fixed on the floor. That alone almost killed me. Because this was my son, the one who used to run into my arms. Now he couldn't even meet my eyes. I swallowed hard. What was that? My voice cracked.
What did I walk into yesterday? Donatus sighed. Actually sighed, as if I was disturbing him. Amanda, please don't start screaming again. That was when something inside me snapped. Don't start screaming, I repeated, disbelief flooding my chest. I walked into something I cannot even explain, Donatus. My stomach tightened. My baby kicked. Or maybe it was just my own body reacting to the stress. Chidi finally spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. Mama, that single word, Mama, it sounded like a knife. I turned to him sharply. Don't you mama me. My eyes burned with tears. Do you know what you have done to me? Chidi's lips trembled. I didn't want it to happen like this. I froze. Like this? My heart began to race again. Like this? I repeated slowly. That meant there was another way it was happening. A planned way. A hidden way. I stepped closer. So it has been happening. Silence. Donatus didn't deny it. Chidi didn't deny it. My knees almost gave out. I held on to the arm of the chair. I whispered, How long have you been doing this behind my back? Chidi covered his face with his hands. Donatus answered instead, Does it matter? I stared at him. My mouth opened but no words came out. Does it matter? My husband, the man I carried a child for, the man who told me to stop my business, the man who promised me safety, standing there asking me if betrayal matters. I laughed, a broken laugh. Does it matter? I repeated. Yes, Donatus, it matters. I pointed at Chidi. That is my son. Then I pointed at my stomach. And I am pregnant with your child. Donatus's face hardened. Amanda, you are overreacting. Overreacting? That word slapped me harder than any hand could have. Chidi finally looked up then. Tears were running down his face. I'm sorry, Mama. I didn't know how to stop. My heart cracked open. What do you mean you didn't know how to stop? I whispered. Chidi shook his head. It started small. Just advice. Mentorship. Mentorship. The same father figure closeness I had been proud of. The church conferences. The choir practices. The attachment. Oh God. My mind began connecting dots I never wanted to see. I stepped back slowly. My breath came fast. This is why. This is why you never wanted to leave the house. This is why you stayed back instead of going abroad. This is why you became so close. Donatus's voice turned cold. Amanda, calm down. Again, always calm down, as if my pain was an inconvenience. I wiped my tears angrily. No, I whispered. I will not calm down. I looked at both of them. I don't even recognize my life anymore. Chidi cried. Donatus stayed silent. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. This house, this comfort, this mansion was built on something rotten, and I was standing in the middle of it, pregnant, broke, and completely alone. I turned around slowly. I whispered, I need air. And as I walked away, one thought kept repeating like a drumbeat. Amanda, what are you going to do now? I didn't go back into that sitting room. I couldn't. If I stayed one more second, I knew I would either collapse or do something I could never take back. So I walked outside. The morning sun was bright, mocking almost, because how could the world still shine when mine had ended? I stood in the compound of that mansion, breathing like someone who had just escaped drowning. My hands were shaking. My stomach was tight. My baby was inside me, innocent, unaware that the life I thought I was bringing it into had become a storm. I sat on the edge of the small garden pavement, and I cried. Not small tears, not gentle tears, the kind of crying that comes from years of holding yourself together, finally breaking. I cried for the 14-year-old girl who was thrown out. I cried for the woman who struggled through school with a baby on her back. I cried for the mother who loved her son so much she waited years to find him a father. And most of all, I cried because the one man I trusted, and the one child I gave my life to had both shattered me in one moment. After a while, I heard footsteps behind me. I didn't turn, but I knew who it was. Chidi. He sat down slowly beside me, leaving space between us like he knew he didn't deserve closeness anymore. His voice was small. "Mama." I didn't answer. He swallowed. "I know you hate me." That sentence was what finally made me look at him. My son. My Chidi. His eyes were swollen. His face looked like a child again, not a 26-year-old man. And for one moment, my heart almost reached for him out of instinct, but the memory pulled me back. I spoke quietly. "I don't hate you." He flinched like he didn't believe me. My voice cracked. "I'm just destroyed." Chidi's lips trembled. It wasn't supposed to happen. I let out a bitter laugh. "You said that already. So tell me." I turned fully to him. "When did it start?" He stared at the ground for a long time. And when he finally spoke, his words felt like stones dropping into my chest. "Not long after you married him." My breath left my body. Not long after. So while I was still smiling as a new bride, while I was thanking God, while I was believing I had finally found peace, it was already happening. Chidi wiped his face. He was always around. He wanted to teach me business. He wanted to spend time with me. He kept saying I was a good son. My throat burned. "And you didn't think it was strange?" Chidi's shoulders shook. At first, I thought he just cared. I thought, finally, I had a father. That word again, father. I closed my eyes. Because wasn't that what I wanted too? A father figure for my child? God, had I opened the door myself? Then Chidi whispered something that made my blood run cold. "He told you you wouldn't understand." I snapped my eyes open. "What?" Chidi nodded slowly, ashamed. "He said you were too focused on being my mother, that you didn't see me as a man." My heart pounded. Donatos. So Donatos had planted seeds, manipulated, twisted things. I stood up abruptly. So he knew exactly what he was doing. Chidi cried harder. "I tried to stop, Mama, I did, but he always had a way of making me feel trapped." Trapped. That word echoed in my mind, and suddenly I realized something. I was trapped too. Donatos told me to stop my business. Donatos made me financially dependent. Donatos built a life where I had nowhere else to go. And now he had taken my home, my trust, and my family apart from the inside. I turned and walked back into the house like a woman possessed. Straight upstairs, straight to Donatos' room. I pushed the door open. He was standing by the window, calm as ever, like a king watching his kingdom. He turned. "Amanda, I didn't waste time. You planned this." His face didn't change. "Planned what?" My voice rose. "You planned everything. You came into my life, into my son's life." Donatos cut in sharply. "Watch your tone." I froze. That was the first time I had anger in his voice. But I wasn't afraid anymore. I stepped closer. "No, I will not watch my tone." My hand went to my stomach. "I am carrying your child, Donatos, and you have poisoned my life." He stared at me for a long moment. Then he said something that made me realize the man I married was not who I thought. "You should be grateful." I blinked. "Grateful?" He nodded slowly. "I gave you comfort. I gave you a mansion. I took you and your son in. Took us in. As if we were charity. as if we were objects. I felt nausea rise in my throat. "You didn't take me in," I whispered. "I gave you my trust." He shrugged. "Amanda, life is complicated." Complicated, that word again. Always words to soften evil. I backed away slowly, shaking. And in that moment, I knew. There was no apology coming. No remorse, no redemption. Only control. Only darkness. I turned and walked outstairs, straight into my room. I locked the door, and for the first time since I was 14, I asked myself a question that felt like a lifeline. Amanda, what do you want? Not what people will say, not what society will laugh about, not what comfort will keep you silent for. What do you want? I sat down and picked up my phone. My fingers hovered. Then I called the only person I trusted, an old woman who had helped me years ago when I was struggling. A woman who once told me, "Comfort is not peace if it costs you your soul." She answered, "Amanda," and the moment I heard her voice, I broke. "I need help," I whispered. Within 2 hours, she was on her way. And as I packed a small bag, I realized something. This mansion was never my home. A home does not betray you. A home does not destroy you. A home does not make you question your sanity. I placed my hand on my belly again. My baby. Tears fell. I don't know what the future holds, but I know one thing. I will not raise you in a house built on secrets. I walked downstairs. Chidi stood there, crying. "Mama, please." My heart shattered again, but I spoke softly. "I love you." His sobs grew louder. "But I cannot stay." I looked at Donatus one last time. He didn't move, didn't beg, didn't care. And that was my final answer. I stepped outside. The gate opened, and for the first time in months, the air felt real. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know how I would start again. But I had started before, at 14, with nothing, and I survived. So I whispered to myself, if I survived then, I will survive now. I don't know if Chidi was telling the whole truth, but that was not important at this point. And this time, I will choose myself no matter what.